I used to drive all over town for low prices, but now I let Walmart's incredible new Savings Catcher do the work for me. I just enter my Walmart receipt online and Savings Catcher does the rest. It compares the prices I paid for items at Walmart with advertised prices from other top stores in my area. And if Savings Catcher finds a lower advertised price, Walmart gives me the difference on an e-gift card. Now that's my kind of work.
Introducing Savings Catcher from Walmart. Go to walmart.com/savingscatcher for details. Eligible items only. Restrictions apply.
Rockin' Country Radio, today's hottest country and more. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Rockin' Country Radio. I'm your host, DJ Delta Dawn. So very glad to be here with you on this is Tuesday, right? Yes, it's Tuesday evening, and into another great week of Rockin' Country Radio and great interviews and great shows. And I tell you, I hope that everyone's week has started off as good as mine has. I've been stoked about this interview tonight since we booked it, just because these guys have gotten so much recognition this summer, especially, and throughout their career, it's just continued to build and build and build. And I tell you, they are going to be a band. If you don't already know who they are, you're going to know who they are in the very near future. Not distant future, very near future. I believe they're going to be on the CMAs and the whole gamut. So we are just stoked about this interview tonight. But before we get into that, I want to welcome everyone to our show. And all the first-time listeners, thank you for joining us tonight. We're very excited that you're here, and we're glad to be here as well. And before I bring on our guests, I want to give you a little background on these guys because, to me, they have undoubtedly become one of my favorite country bands going right now. As many great artists as there are in country music, these guys just kind of won my heart when I heard their song for the first time, as I know it has had that same effect on many of you out there who have heard the song. But they have been doing some phenomenal things throughout their career. They have opened for country music superstars including Jake Owen, Eric Church, Lee Brice, Colt Ford, Joe Nichols, Gary Allen, and Justin Moore, just to name a few. They have raised over $130,000 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and played on the Hard Rock stage for CMA Fest. And their first single, Dirt Road Romance, was written by a duo better known as Florida Georgia Line, yes, those guys, and Albis, Albritton. It went to number 29 on the Music Row chart and number 46 on the Billboard Indicator Chart. And believe it or not, their second single, which everyone knows by now, Moonlight Crush, is currently being played on Sirius XM's The Highway. And the two singles combined, are you ready for this, have had over 100,000 downloads and over 1 million YouTube views. And so without further ado, tonight we are so excited and proud to welcome from Outshyne the band's lead singer, Mr. Waylon Owens. How are you? Hello.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm very good. And I'm wonderful. I'm so glad to have you here, and thank you for joining us tonight. It's our honor and pleasure to have you with us. And so, gosh, you guys have been so busy of late that I'm surprised you even had any time to call and speak to us. So it's really a real honor. Thank you.
Oh, that's no problem. We always try to make time.
Yes, and you're so good about that, too, I must tell you. Well, I got to congratulate you right out of the gate on the success of Moonlight Crush. It's a song that everybody loves. As I said, by now everybody knows what it is. They've heard it. And it's held It's been 7, 8 weeks in the top 5 on Sirius XM's The Highway, the Hot 45?
Yeah, it has. And it's actually blowing our mind. We didn't expect it to stay in the top 10 that long, but we're very excited that it did,
Oh, yeah. Well, I listen to that show every week and listen to Sirius pretty faithfully. And the week that it went to number one, I was just jumping up and down. I mean, I'm riding down the road and I'm listening to the countdown, and all of a sudden I hear it and I'm like, oh my gosh! And you guys, as I said in the introduction, are very near and dear to my heart because number one, you're from my neighboring state. I grew up in North Carolina, so you guys are all from South Carolina. And to me, North Carolina, South Carolina, it's like Carolina. It's just one big entity, you know. And
that's the same thing I say.
Exactly. So it's just, if you've been to Myrtle Beach at any time, if you're from North Carolina, you just feel like you're just part of South Carolina and vice versa. And so to see the path that you guys are on with your career and all the big things that are happening, it's making so many North Carolinians proud. So many country artists have come out of South Carolina and have been very successful, and I just believe you guys are no exception. You are definitely on your way. You've done some amazing things so far. And this single, Moonlight Crush, has just kind of launched you guys to a whole new level. Would you agree?
I do agree. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It happened so fast. Things have really picked up and took off for us, and we were like kids when we found out, the song went to number one. I wasn't really expecting. I figured it, when it got up as high as it did, I was like, that's probably it. But we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that it goes further. But then it did, and we were like, oh my God. So we were all pretty excited.
It's interesting because I was talking to your manager, Tommy, recently, and he was talking about how you guys are so humble. You're constantly just in awe of the fact that things are kind of unfolding and happening right before your eyes, and you're just kind of going along, and with it. But what was it like for you guys when you found out that the song had gone to number one?
We were we actually, which is sad to say, our van that we travel in right now does not have the highway, so we were kind of listening to it on our cell phones, and our friends were listening, and we kind of found out actually, and we were like just stoked about it. I mean, we were headed to an island to play a private engagement party for a friend of ours, and we were having to load our stuff onto a boat, so we were all like pumped up, and then after we loaded all our stuff on the boat, we were so exhausted, we were like, man, we're going to have to celebrate a little bit later on because we're too tired to right now, but it was amazing. We're still excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you guys have done a tremendous job, and congratulations. I can't say it enough because that is, it was such an exciting thing for me and for all your fans and listeners to know that it had gone to number one and has stayed in the top five. I mean, your fans are a huge reason why SiriusXM has just continued. I mean, it just continues to be in the top five and on the countdown for that matter. They really get behind you, and when I mean, every time I'm on social media, and I'm on Twitter in particular, I see stuff about you guys all the time. Your fans are just the most loyal that I've seen, and speaking of that, I mean, I've never seen an artist or a band have as big of a fan base that has grown as rapidly as yours has, and how does that make you feel? Because that has got to be like, is it overwhelming but yet exciting all at the same time?
It is. It's very overwhelming. It's I mean, I remember, that's what I was telling somebody in an interview not long ago. I remember when I could go on Facebook or Twitter and answer everybody back, and now it's got to the point where I'd have to be on there constantly 24 hours a day to answer everybody back. So I try to get to as many as I can, and everybody's trying to split it up. But we have the best fans ever. I mean, we're so blessed to have so many people that, support us and are behind us for what we're doing. We're so excited about it. Now, we all said that, we owe that number one to the fans.
Oh, yeah. Well, your fans are loyal, and they are amazing, just like you guys are. And I want to talk to you a little bit about your summer that you've had, because you've been on the road more than you've been off, it seems like. And, I mean, every time I see you guys promoting that on social media, you're headed somewhere to play, and you played CMA Fest again this year, and that's really a big deal. I mean, for those people who don't realize just how big of a deal that is a big deal for any up-and-coming artist or band. And this was your second year there, right? Am I correct there, or was this the third year?
Yes, this was the second year. I mean, we've been before as, just hanging out, but we've never, it was exciting for us to be able to play it, for the first year. And then 2 years in a row, we were super excited. So 2 years, and we're hoping we'll be there next year, too.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt you will be. And what would you say? I mean, you guys have kind of played all over the place. I mean, you've been from one end of the spectrum to the other in the United States this summer alone. And what would you say has been the highlight of your summer out touring so far?
Oh man, there's so many. I don't know. We've been places and we just come back from playing Nebraska, and we opened up for the '80s metal group Warrant. I don't know if you remember Warrant or not.
I do indeed. I grew up an '80s girl, Waylon. So yes, I when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, they're opening for Warrant now. This is too cool, you know. So oh yeah.
That was definitely a highlight because I listen. You know, I grew up listening to '80s, all '80s stuff. So it was cool to get to meet those guys. They were super nice, and the crowd was great, and everybody, you know, had a good time there. So that was definitely a highlight for this summer.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, you know, being summertime, I mean, there's all these summer tours and a lot of outdoor venues, and they're all different from what I understand. What would you say has been your favorite location or venue that you've played so far?
Favorite look. Well, we had a great time. We played up in Danville, Virginia, with Colt Ford and Jared Neiman. That was probably one of my favorite shows we did this summer. Seriously, it was packed. We had a great time. Those guys are super nice. And Cole, you know, he actually wrote our the next single we're fixing to release. Him and a good buddy of mine. So it was cool to get to go up there and play that with him. And we got to go out and hang out, which is something we do too. Is we'll go out after the show and kind of hang out in the crowd and meet people. And we had a great time up there. It was awesome. We met a lot of nice fans, and hopefully we'll get to come back that way real soon.
Well, you know, it's interesting that you mentioned that, which I think is very awesome because there's a lot of artists that can't, you know, because they're so big or whatever. But I think that's awesome that you guys have kind of taken that position and you want to go hang with your fans after the show and just have that one-on-one, you know, a little more personalized, you know, gathering rather than being up on stage performing. And your fans, I know, love it and appreciate it. But I was telling your manager when he shared that with me, I said, you know, there's going to come a day when those guys are not going to be able to just go mix and mingle with the crowd. I mean, you know, when you're talking about 200,000 people, you know, it's going to be hard, but you might get mobbed. I mean, you know, so, but no, seriously, I mean, I think that for the here and now, as long as you're able to do that, that is really like one of the coolest things in the world that you guys can do as a band, I think, outside of performing, because the fans just eat it up. You know, they love that so much.
I figure, I mean, it's the least we can do. You know, people pay money to come out and see us, and I mean, like you said, I mean, there's going to come a point when it's probably not going to be possible to do it anymore. And our friend Brice was telling us, he said straight up honesty, he said there is a point where you can't do it anymore, but as long as we can do it, we're going to do it. So we look forward to meeting many more fans.
Well, and that's what I think has had a lot to do with how big your fan base has grown in such a short amount of time. And this summer alone, I mean, gosh, your numbers have just climbed like crazy everywhere you go. You're picking up new fans because if they haven't heard the single on Sirius, you know, they've heard it live in concert and immediately liked it. I mean, it's one of those songs that when you hear it for the first time, you're hooked. It's not one of those that has to grow on you. It definitely is a first-timer. So it's not surprising at all. Now, I want to talk a little bit about you guys as a band because not many folks, unless they're diehard Outshyne fans, know that you guys have known each other pretty much like forever. And did any of you ever see you being where you are today?
Well, we talked about it. I mean, like you said, we've known each other pretty much forever. I mean, our bass player, I've known him since I was 4 years old, and we've been best friends since then. And we always dreamed about it and, you know, hoped that one day we could do that, you know, playing in little bands, you know, from the time we were in junior high all the way up to high school. And it was just a dream, you know, and to have it come true, I mean, it's an amazing feeling, and we're so excited. Sometimes it's unreal, you know. We'll sit back and we're like, I can't believe we are exactly where we're at right now, but we're excited about it, and it's like I say, it's amazing.
Well, and the fact that you guys have been, you know, friends, lifetime friends, the way you have. I mean, when I think about some of the bands that, you know, have been around forever and ever and ever, it seems, some of your rock bands in particular, like Warrant, for example, I mean, you think about the camaraderie and the friendship that those guys have had with each other, and they're still making music together. And And that's what I see for you guys, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, because you've been your friends and you've known each other for so long that it just seems like the thing to do, and it will carry you very far because you've got that foundation of friendship, which is, will outlast everything. And it's got to be, on top of that, it's got to be so cool to be making music with your best friends.
It is. We do have our days when we don't want to talk to each other, which is going to be like that with anybody. But,
right.
We try to, if it gets to that point, people say, do y'all ever fight? And I'm like, no, not really. We'll get into a little, spat here and there, and we just we know how to get away from each other, and, that way we don't get too tired of each other. And when we're home, we don't talk as much as we used to because we're trying to keep it where, when we're out on the road, because we spend so much time together that we, we're not burnt out on each other.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
It's awesome to be able to, do something you love and be as, as blessed as we are right now to have all your friends.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And, they're like family, too. So it's the next best thing to family, really. Now, speaking of Sirius XM, the Highway, and this great single, Moonlight Crush, you guys recently were invited to go perform in the studios there at Sirius XM, and you performed an acoustic version of Moonlight Crush. And I tell you, you guys did an awesome job, because I was in my car and I caught it on the air live, and then I've since watched the video footage many times. And what was that experience like for you guys?
It was great. I've been listening to the Highway for a long time now, and hearing Stormy and, being able to meet all those guys, and John Martz, he's such a great guy, and he believes in us, and just, it was a great thing. And it was kind of, it was a nerve thing, our nerves were on end, but we got through it, had a good time, and it was just great to be able to meet all those people, and they were so nice to us, and we had to let them know exactly how grateful we were for, them playing our music and supporting us.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even though you guys have had a dream for a long time to one day be doing what you love and doing what you're doing now, did you ever in your wildest dreams imagine that you would have a song on Sirius XM?
No, that was our goal. It was like we had so many goals, and they all came one at a time, and we were like, well, we got that down, so let's try this next thing. And that was one of our biggest goals, because we were being played in South Carolina on some of the, secondary stations and stuff like that. And I was like, I think if we can get on the station, because we watched so many other people we knew, like Florida Georgia Line, they took off from being on the Highway. And once we got on there, and they were just playing us a little, I was like, well, we've already, did one of the biggest things we've tried to do. So, but once they really started playing it, we watched our downloads, we watched our fan base, and everything just grow, and we started meeting people, and there were people all over the U.S. that, come up to us like, I know you guys, I downloaded your song when I first heard it, and it's a great feeling, to know that it connects, because, that's played everywhere. That's not just, one area in the state or, like a 100-watt station. It's all over, So it was awesome for us.
Hey, Waylon?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so sorry. We just lost connection right in the middle of what you were saying, and I do apologize. And I was hoping it would come back. It was, I don't know what was going on there for a second. I heard you talking, and then you just faded on me. So I was like, oh dear, I do apologize. But you were talking about hearing the song on Sirius, and that was one of your goals. And after that, I lost you. We just died from here on our end.
Yeah, I was saying, it's just, we watched our fan base grow. We watched our downloads. It was amazing to see how much impact that radio station, does for a band. From watching, friends of ours like Florida Georgia Line and those guys, we watched them take off from that same station. So it was great, and it's still great. It hasn't slacked off any. It's probably what's helped us move along more than anything, the Highway, and we're so grateful for them playing our music.
Oh yeah, those guys. I agree with you. They are really helping a lot of unsigned artists and up-and-coming artists, the next wave of great country artists and bands in country music to come forward. I mean, they are really putting people on the map, and I love the fact that they're not afraid to do it, you know, and it's helping to push some of the stuff out to mainstream radio too. They've got to play catch up by the time Sirius has it out there, you know, so it's a really good thing, and I'm so excited to see what they're doing for you guys in particular. Now, rumor has it that you guys are getting ready to drop some new music in September, and does new music equate to a new album?
Yeah, we're actually we've already recorded 3 songs for the album, and we're going to drop one of those songs to radio. And we just picked up another song that we're fixing to do, and I'm writing with some guys right now, some of my buddies at the Nashville, and we're really excited about it. This album's going to be a lot different than the last one. It's kind of us stepping out of the box a little bit and trying some new stuff. And I'm not sure exactly when it'll be out, but you know, I can't release a date yet, but I'm excited, and I'll be glad when I can, because I'm like a kid. When I listen to the music, I want everybody else to hear it, you know.
Well, so, I think your fans are just about as big a kids as well. I mean, I'm sitting here going, gosh, if Moonlight Crush and Dirt Road Romance are any indication of what we can see from you guys moving forward, oh, man, we're in for a treat. I can't wait either. Is it September yet? That's what I've got to ask, you know. It needs to hurry up and be September. Well, I mean, you guys are doing so many great things, not to mention, in addition to releasing new music in September, you guys are on tour like well through the end of the year, and it's my understanding that you're going to be over in my neck of the woods in a few weeks over in Samora, North Carolina, which is about 30 minutes from where I live, and so I am really looking forward to getting out to the show to see you guys live, which has been on my bucket list for a while, so I'm glad to see I'm finally going to get to fulfill that. But not only that, I know recently it was announced that you guys are going to be playing a big show at the House of Blues in Myrtle Beach in November. And talk a little bit about that, because that is a huge deal as well.
It is. I didn't even know about it till like a week ago, and they told me, and I was like, who are we playing with? They're like, well, you're the main act. I was like, we're the main act? And they were like, yeah, so that's some nerves there, you know. That's kind of nerves going in and doing something like that. The last time we played there, we were with Gary Allen, and, you know, I've always looked up to him, love his music, and we had a great time, and it's one of my favorite venues probably to play for, you know, places like that. So we're excited about it, and I do believe Lee Brice's brother Lewis is going to be with us for that show, and he's amazing too. He's a great artist.
Oh,
and,
that's cool.
It should be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I dare say you guys are moving on up, because, you know, you're headlining there. I mean, that is a big deal. I mean, the House of Blues, when you think about it, the acts that go through the House of Blues, and I have to admit, as many times as I've been to Myrtle Beach, I've never, ever been to the House of Blues. I've just never had the time. There's always been too much going on. You know how that goes when you go to the beach, family vacations and stuff. It's just like you can't go. But I'm telling you, that is a huge deal, especially when you think about House of Blues being a national chain, and they're all over the place, you know. So, yes, it's pretty big for you guys to be in their headline, and no doubt. And I know it's going to be a great show, and you're going to pack it in. I believe you will.
Yeah, we got a pretty good following in Myrtle Beach, and plus that area, I mean, it's, you know, it's so close to North Carolina too, because North Carolina and South Carolina, you know, so we have so many fans in that area, so we're looking forward to it. I mean, it's going to be a good time. I'm expecting a good turnout.
Well, given the summer that you've had on the road, and being able to kind of, you know, let's just say wrap up fall, rolling into the holiday season, and playing a show in your native state, especially at the House of Blues, that is like a huge celebratory moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of a great homecoming for you guys at an awesome venue, and you're headlining. And I just think that kind of brings everything full circle for you as a band that's happened this year alone, you know?
Yeah, it definitely does. And our fans, you know, like I said, we started out in South Carolina, and we all actually still live there. And we travel between there and Nashville, and I'm sure soon we're probably going to be living in Nashville because things are moving at such a rapid pace. But, I mean, our fans in South Carolina, it's like they understand we're doing big things now, so we can't just play South Carolina, but they miss us. They send us messages all the time. So I'm excited about doing it so they can all come out and, you know, we can have a big party and everybody hang out with us.
And you know it will be a party indeed. And, you know, with you guys hanging out, I mean, to me, this is like the coolest gig in the world, to play the House of Blues. You're headlining, and when you're done with the gig, you hang out at the House of Blues with all your fans. that, you know, personal friends too. I'm sure many of them, because you're from South Carolina, and you know they are as well. And so just that support base is like a big party, and what a great atmosphere and a great venue. And I have to ask you before I let you go, you know, things have snowballed, and I don't say that very lightly, for you guys this year alone. Where do you see yourselves in, say, 2 to 5 years as a band? I know where I think I'm going to see you, but I'm going to let you answer first.
We're looking for the big, I mean, like you said earlier, we're looking for award shows. You know, that's our next thing. Our Grand Ole Opry performance. You know, that'd be great. Something like that. We're gonna keep working hard. I mean, we're doing as many dates as Kenny Chesney. So I mean, we're definitely working our butt off. But yeah, we're going. There's no goal that's, you know, too big for us. We're going to try to reach for all of them.
Well, and, you know, hard work is definitely paying off for you guys, and I have no doubt, and I told your manager this when I spoke to him recently, and that is that I really wholeheartedly believe that in the very near future, we are going to see you guys up for Horizon Award on the CMTs, the ACMs, and the whole gamut. You're going places, and you're soon to be a household name. I really believe that you guys are on the path, and everything that has happened for you all is just a precursor to what's to come. And I cannot wait to see what 2015 is going to hold for you all, because it's going to be phenomenal. I just have a feeling it's just going to be so cool. And I'll be watching TV one day going, oh my gosh, there they are. On the award show,
hope you're right.
What I'm saying? I have no doubt. I mean, you guys are doing some amazing things. You're awesome songwriters, too. I mean, that's another element that I think people tend to forget about, is that not only are you awesome performers, your music is great, but you guys do some bang-up job at writing music, and all of it together is paying off, no doubt about that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually getting back in. Last year I didn't get to do as much writing as I did the year before, so it was kind of like, you know, everybody's like, why don't you have as many songs on this album? I'm like, well, when you do like almost 300 dates a year, you don't really have a lot of time for writing, but I'm hoping to have a few more cuts on this album here, so I'm excited about that. But I want to say thank you to y'all for, you know, supporting us and helping us grow too, because, I mean, y'all tweet about us all the time, and that just really, I mean, that helps us. That helps us grow. And when you're coming up the way we are, I mean, every little tweet or, you know, name drop, anything helps us out. So we really do appreciate that.
Oh, look, we are happy to support you guys. And like I said, to me, it's just Carolina. There is no north. There is no south. It's just Carolina. So, you know, the fact that you're from Carolina, hey, I'm a fan, man. So we are glad to do it.
Thank
Anything
you.
we can do beyond this to help further you along, we're glad to do it. So, well, Waylon, we don't want to hold you any longer, because I know this is kind of your off day from the road, and just the fact that you took time to call in and chat with us has been phenomenal, and it has been a blast. Thank you so much for being our special
no
guest.
problem.
And please give our best to the rest of the guys, and to Tommy, your manager, and many thanks to all of you for just taking the time. And we will definitely catch you out on the road in a couple of weeks, and we wish you much continued success. We'll be rooting for you and cheering for you every single step of the way.
Awesome. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting you.
All right. Well, thank you, Waylon. Take care and have a great evening.
You too.
All right. We'll see ya.
All right, bye.
Bye. Waylon Owens, ladies and gentlemen, from the band Outshyne. What an awesome guy. And I tell you, these guys are going places, and if you do not know who they are, you need to check them out, because they are going to be the next big thing in country music. You can check out Outshyne at their website, outshinemusic.com, on Facebook and Twitter at Outshyne, and their music is available on iTunes also, so go pick it up, check it out, support them. Again, we want to thank our special guest, Waylon Owens from Outshyne, and many thanks to each of you for joining us this evening. And as we close, we're going to play a couple songs from Outshyne. First up will be their first hit single that was written by Florida Georgia Line, called Dirt Road Romance, followed by the single that has been one of the biggest releases this summer, entitled Moonlight Crush. So thank you again to everyone, and for Rockin' Country Radio, I'm your host, DJ Delta Dawn, wishing you all a wonderful evening, and we will see you back here again tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place. Take care. Have a great evening. God bless, and good night.
thinking about one thing, but they didn't know she had a wild side, and it was dying to come alive. So right when the sun went down, you know we fired up the Chevy and it came out. We went right down a dirt road, real slow, seeing where love goes. I know, putting in park out in the dark seemed like a really good place to start. Just two young kids taking a chance on a dirt road romance. You know, Monday we walked them halls like nothing ever happened at all, and we would keep our secret hid so we could go out and do it again. Yeah, we went right down dirt road, real slow, seeing where love goes. I know, pulling in park out in the dark seemed like a really good place to start. Just two young kids taking a chance, yeah, on a dirt road romance. Big, bright, blue eyes, smooth like tan lines, radio, kissing slow. She's always ready to roll down a dirt road, real slow, seeing where love goes. I know, putting it hard in the dark seemed like a really good place to start. We went right down a dirt road, real slow, seeing where love goes. I know, putting it hard out in the dark seemed like a really good place to start. Just two young kids taking a chance on a dirt road romance. Yeah, a dirt road romance. Maybe it's just the summertime heat that's got my heart playing tricks on me with a couple of beers and a good time atmosphere. Or maybe it's the way you tilt your head when you laugh at some silly thing I said, or your angel eyes. Whatever it is tonight, I've got a little moonlight crush on you, girl, a little bit starstruck, having a hard time covering up how I'm feeling right now. Your pretty firefly silhouette, looking just about sudden vindicative. You're such a beautiful little wreck, the way you're smiling at me. Yeah, it might be love, but just a little moonlight crush. I'm hoping by the way you took my hand means you wanna drift off from the crowd and the band to somewhere else, all by ourselves. Let our kisses tell us what we got, and you can tell me what you want this night to be. 'Cause at the very least, I've got a little moonlight crush on you, girl, a little bit starstruck, having a hard time covering up how I'm feeling right now. Your pretty firefly silhouette, looking just about as good as it gets. You're such a beautiful little wreck, the way you're smiling at me. Yeah, it might be love, but just a little moonlight crush. That strap hanging off your shoulder, I can't help but get a little bit closer. I'd like to do this over and over and over. I've got a little moonlight crush on you, girl, a little bit starstruck, having a hard time covering up how I'm feeling right now. And your pretty firefly silhouette looking just about as good as it gets. You're such a beautiful little wreck, the way you're smiling at me. Yeah, it might be love, or just a little moonlight crush. Just a little moonlight crush. Just a little moonlight crush.
Check out Rockin' Country Radio on the web. Find us at rockincountryradio.com, on Twitter at rockin_CTRY, and on Facebook at Rockin' Country Radio.